What's happening, everybody? The Poets here. Hope you're doing well and staying safe. And today is pre-built day. So I have a couple of pre-built PCs. This one is the EK Fluid Gaming 200 series. I actually have no idea what processor or GPU is in here. The box is just kind of generic like that. It's red, so I thought it was AMD, which it is. It's an X570 motherboard, AMD processor on there. Well, CPU water block, so obviously processor. And I wanted to show you how you actually start this up, because some pre-built PCs that are custom water-cooled like this come pre-filled. This one gives you the opportunity to actually go through that experience of filling it yourself, which I really appreciate. So let's kind of get into just that. So this is not a first impressions video. This is not a review video. This is just, hey, I have a water-cooled pre-built PC from EK specifically. We're going to go through the directions, right? Read the directions, because you don't want to destroy your PC, all right? Even on the front here, this big old label saying, read the instructions. So let's just go step by step. First one is very simple. There are, if I can open it up, unboxing instructions. So really, you just take off the lid. This is the 011 Dynamic, the mid-tier one, so not the XL, not the Mini, and set that aside. So I have opened this previously, and the way you do this is you just lift this off, very nice and easy. And there's actually some like foamy stuff, you just pull that out, very simple. The third step is actually this one, where you want to take off the front glass, and that really just slides up very nice and easily. Now remember that all these glasses, they do have this very nice peel effect that you can do, so wait till the end to do all that. So when you turn the PC to the front, you'll actually see a fill port right there. So you're actually going to unscrew that with a screwdriver. Screwdriver has been acquired, so you just unscrew that, like I said. It's in there kind of tight sometimes. So this is how you actually fill this distribution plate, and the distribution plate actually has a pump right here. So now that the fill port is open, we have to grab our bottles of cryo fuel. So this is clear cryo fuel. It came with the system. There's all kinds of different colors of fluid that you can buy. I do tend to suggest you get the same fluid that it kind of matches the hardware. So if you have EK hardware, get EK fluid. If you have Thermaltake hardware, get Thermaltake fluid. You just are pretty much guaranteed that the fluid is actually compatible, because there are incompatible fluid based on the hardware that you have. So if you're just not familiar with it, just use the same brand, all right? This is a fluid bottle, squirt bottle, whatever. And I like to use a little funnel here. It's always a good idea to have some paper towels readily available. And we're just going to open this up very carefully, take off the tin foil, and then just take your time. No need to rush this. If you spill, that's fine, just clean it up. And based on the fluids, some fluid will foam up a little bit, kind of like, some drinks, if you fill it a certain way, it may foam. Others may not foam at all. So it just depends on the fluid. And when it's actually going through the whole system, if there is any foaming action, it will actually dissipate over time anyway. So don't worry about that too much. So here we go. Always take your time putting these down, because when you're screwing them in, sometimes you can get some splatter. So nice and easy like that. And then we can begin the filling process. So you notice the fill line right here, and it says, please fill the distribution plate before powering on the system. Full instructions can be found inside your quick start guide, obviously. So when we fill it up, we are going to go to the line here using the fill hole. And then when we turn it on, the fluid is going to drop down. So just turn it off before it reaches the pump area, because down here, you don't want to get air into the pump, right? This always has to have fluid. So you turn it off, then fill it back up to the fill line. So basically rinse and repeat. So let's go ahead and start the process. Just stick this in here and start squeezing. So it's actually very simple. And I'm not going to speed this up or cut it out, because I want you to see the time frame for what it actually takes. And depending on the bottle you have, the squeeze bottle here, it could take shorter or longer. This one has a nice large opening for the nozzle, so it squirts very quickly. There's other ones that are kind of surgical and take a long time. So for those, you can actually cut the tip of those to increase the flow rate. So you can see we're getting close to the top here. And that's good. So as a best practice, now that this is low, I'm going to fill this back up, okay? And then I'll plug this in, turn it on, let the fluid start to go, then turn it off when the fluid gets low. So again, just take your time with it, no need to rush. So it's one bottle down, and I'm gonna open this second one here. And now I can plug the power cord into the PC just to allow it to run. So at this point, we can take off this sticker so that we can better see where the fluid is. Hopefully it doesn't leave residue. No! All right, maybe let's go from this side. It looks like no matter what we do, it's gonna be nasty. It was 90 degrees today, so that's unfortunate. Darn. It's sticky. Ha, sticky. Okay, that's 15 minutes I'm not getting back. And if anybody says I missed a spot, you're getting blocked. All right, so now we're at the point where I can show you a little bit more of this. I'm going to turn it on, and there should be a switch back here for the power supply. Maybe, yes, I think so. And then just turn it on briefly, all right? There we go. We're going to see the fluid come down, and then I'm going to turn it off just really quick at the power supply. Simple as that. Now, a good best practice is to put the cap back on here, but I think I kicked it while I was taking off the glue. So, yeah. But mainly, you don't need to, but it is a good best practice because sometimes when you start this up, there might be some splashing that comes out and then it drips down. So now let's continue our filling process. And we're going to fill it up to the point of just at the nozzle. So right there. Perfect. Be careful with this. And then because this is clean, like I actually rinse this with distilled water, the bottle itself, any excess fluid I'm just going to put right back into the original container. Found it, so I'm just going to put it right back on here. You don't need to screw it on like incredibly tight, just basically when you feel a little bit of resistance, that's all. So now, for your viewing pleasure, let's turn this back on, flip the switch, and gaze at the RGB. Voila. So now at this point, we see everything kind of going in the system. We now know where the true fluid level is, so we can open this back up and fill it a little bit more. Nice and easy. All the way up to the top. And again, we're going to put this back on because now we have to start bleeding the system. And what that means is some tippage. So definitely screw this on pretty good because this is where some of the kind of scary things happen for some people because they've never done it before. Just start tipping. And this gets a lot of the air that's trapped in the radiators and the CPU water block all out of the system. Oops, I have a screw somewhere. So just back and forth like this. You can do it slower, faster, it doesn't really matter. Oh, here we go. And just kind of keep doing it until you no longer get like big gulps of air going through the system. And so as you are tipping it like back and forth like this, don't be scared because this is a closed system now. Ideally you have screwed this on. So as the air kind of runs through the system, it will then accumulate up top here in the distribution plate. And that's what you want to see. And then when the fluid starts to get a little bit lower over time because more air is being bled out of the system, you can then start to top this off as well. So as you can see, it's pretty simple. The only thing I could really add is maybe for the first 24 hours, keep this slightly open or just entirely off, because it allows for excess air to escape the system and kind of balances the pressure a little bit as well. It's not needed, but I find it's kind of helpful. So after that 24-hour mark is up, you can just go ahead and put this back on. And then after a few days, weeks, or months, you may see that you need to top this off as well. That's perfectly normal as well. So this fluid, I'm just going to go ahead and just leave it on the shelf. It has a shelf life of like a couple of years, so don't think that it may go bad over time. You're pretty much good. Also, I like to entirely drain custom loops on average once a year. So this is clear fluid, so it'll probably last a bit longer than just 1 year. Could last 2 or 3 years, but it's clear. So you'll know when you kind of need to clean things out. Specifically in the CPU water block, that's a good indicator. If it starts to get all like gunked up with some random stuff, it may be time to drain the loop, take things apart, and just kind of clean them out. I've done a number of videos on my YouTube channel of how to clean CPU water blocks and GPU water blocks, so go ahead and take a look at those as well. And basically at this point, we can put these back on, and of course take off the peel. Sorry for the bad angle of the peel, I couldn't resist. It's, you know, it's a peel. It's very appealing. Okay. But I will grace you with this peel. Oh yeah. So shout out to EK for the review unit here. So again, this is not a first impressions, this is not a review video, this is just how to get things started with this, all right? So I hope you found this useful. If you have any questions, put them down in the comment section. And, okay, first impressions, it looks good. All right, peace. Subscribe, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, all that stuff. Like and subscribe. Thanks, everybody. Bye.